Hi. So, in this episode of Scale Up and Don't Screw Up series that we are doing in building powerful scalable applications using Flutterflow, a lot of you guys already know that I use Rowy a lot. So this time around, I want to introduce you to the Backendflow service in collab in let's say how to use this Backendflow service with Rowy instead of calling those API calls that we instantly configured and we were able to send an email in the last video from Flutterflow. This time around, we are going to do that in Rowy. So let's see how it actually works, right? So now let's try to bit of understand what this whole backend flows file that we downloaded, the Open API file that we downloaded, or if we see around in the configuration in Flutterflow, we will notice that, or we will realize that this is a get call. So by get call basically means that anything you put on the URL, right, or your browser URL, where you type your address, for instance, canva.com here, this is kind of like a get call, right? So let's say I want to go grab one of my browsers here, okay, and I'm going to copy this entire URL. I'm going to paste it here, and you see here where the two, this is the email or the recipient, and in the subject I'm going to say that this is a test email from browser URL bar, okay, and with a body which says hope this works, okay. Now if I press enter, the URL gets encoded, browser takes care of it, and I see a success message, right? The moment if I go to my, let's say, my inbox, okay, so this is a test email from the browser URL here, hope this works, right? So that is what it takes to actually trigger emails with Backendflow, right? So we are going to see how to make a get call with Roy. So a quick simple setup which I've already done, which I'll post. So basically we are going to call that URL with an await fetch. That's it, that's all we have to do, right? So we are configuring this as an extension. Now a lot of in case you want to know what an extension is, I'll do a later on video, or you can go through Roy's documentation. So our setup basically is, let's say for instance, we have a collection called Black and Flow email, where just like how you configure any collection and do post calls or to create a document on Flutterflow or an update a document in Flutterflow. Here what I'm doing is I'm basically, let's say for instance, putting in the person, the recipient, their email address, the subject and the body, right? And I'm going to have a field called trigger. Why I have included the trigger is because I wanted to manually input, add a row, and on trigger, on any change in this field called trigger, my extension right here, which is going to send a backend flow email, has to, let's say, straightforward go hit that URL where I am concatenating basically along with my API key. I'm concatenating the two, the recipient address, I'm concatenating the body, I'm concatenating the subject, and I'm passing them as query string parameters, right? And that's it. And then constant response is await fetch URL. This is just enough for you to start sending emails right away, right? So let's see a demo, okay? So for instance, this is already enabled, deployed. So I'm going to say mail from Rowy test 2, because there is already a mail from Rowy. So I'm going to change anything from, let's say, if I change this value from ASD to AS to ASD or anything for that matter, you're going to see that a new email is going to pop up in my inbox in quick times. Okay, mail from Roy test 2, right? That's it. That's all it takes to send a very, very quick email or to enable email service for your applications, this time around using Backend Flow and Roy. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Bye bye.